Hi there. There was a lot of discussion about terms and terms versioning in with respect to orders in the FluentCart system. And while this is not a global problem, it's more a European problem, and especially it's a problem in Germany, because in Germany we have a whole legislation all around terms, which is called the AGB-Recht. It's a terms legislation. And that means if you have terms in your shop and you sell something to a client, these terms become part of the contract. And because of that, you have to be able to prove what specific terms have been valid at the time when the client buys something from you. And right now, FluentCart doesn't provide a solution for that. They have this check mark where you can require the client to accept the terms, but nobody knows what specific version the client accepted to at the time he buys something. And this is something I worked on the last weeks, and I put it into the PowerKit plugin. And today I will give you a sneak preview how this works. So basically what it does is you define pages that are relevant for auditing when the client buys something. And these pages are then saved on a Git repository. And the beauty of Git is, well, it's not really beautiful, but in this case it has some strong advantages, because if you commit something to Git, then the full text of the terms will be stored in the Git repository, and you will get in return a hash, an cryptographic hash of this current version, and this hash will then be stored on the order. This is much more convenient, and it saves a lot of space in the database, in contrast to storing the full terms text on each order. That does not make sense. That's pointless. But storing a short hash is quite convenient, and right now it's already linking back to the current version that the client subscribed to or bought to, the current version in your Git repository. And I want to show you how this works. I give you a sneak preview how this works. So this is a current PowerKit settings page. It's still not beautiful. I still need to work on the design things. But right now it got this new T&C versioning module here. And once this is enabled, you get this T&C versioning tab here. And there you can see, you can define where you want to store your terms, details, or whatever you want to do there. Right now, you can choose between GitHub and GitLab. I use GitLab, so I set it to GitLab. Then it's the base URL. You need a personal access token that has been created on GitLab, and you store it here, and it is being stored because of the European CRA, the Cyber Resilience Act. It is stored encrypted, of course, in the database. You need to define the repository in your GitLab account. In this case, you define the branch, which is usually the main branch, and then you can select what posts or what pages do you want to track. And again, this is still not beautiful. I selected the AGB. So that's the German abbreviation for terms and conditions. And if you look at the German compliance section here, I already selected that the AGB, the terms page, is called AGB. So you can select any other page here as well, but in my case, in this specific installation, it's the AGB. In English, it's terms. So basically that's it. Then you can test the connection. It's testing against GitLab, and it tells you precisely if it's working or not. And if it's the case, then you just save the settings saved, and you're done. So what does this do now? If we look at the pages, currently it's the pages. You can also use a custom post type if you want to, but this is a very plain vanilla simple test install, so it doesn't look nice. So if we edit the AGB, everything is in German. So this is a change. And if we save that, then in the backend, it stores this current version in my GitLab account. And if you look at this, so this is how GitLab looks on the backend. Then you can see there's a folder TC, and there's a TC update, and this is what we just did. This is the content of the current AGB page, and this is you can see in green what has been added. Red would have been deleted. So this is a change. This is what we just changed here. And you see that in the title it says it's a T&C update for the page AGB. That's the name of the page, and you get a date stamp with the current date and the time in UTC time. And on the top you see the commit. This commit is the hash. This is a hashed cryptographic key that leads to precisely this version of the page. And if you want to see the full page, you can see the full as well. Usually it just shows you the changes. If we go back and maybe we change this one here, this is a change to. Save that. Takes some time in the backend because it has to communicate with GitLab in this case. So if we go back to the main site, then it can tell us precisely. Now you see this has been deleted. Letzte Änderung, the German part has been deleted, and this is a change to. It's the new text. And if you look at the full code, this is the latest version, and now you got a new hash in the upper left corner here. So this is what happens in the backend. This happens automatically once you set that up in the plugin. But now the question is, how does that look on in FluentCart? So imagine someone is currently coming to your shop and buys something like this digital test product. Go to checkout. And then we buy that. All test here. Place the order. No, do I want to save that? Successful. Now the client can do whatever they want to. Nothing changes here, so it's still looking precisely as you know that already. But in the back end, something has changed. So if we now look at the FluentCart part in the orders, then we can see, oh, there's a new order. And if we click on that, then we have this T&C audit trail down below right here. See that? And it says the document, the AGB, that's the page title, has a new commit SHA. This is the cryptographic key, committed at this precise time, and this has been recorded on order payment at this time. So you can see this is the last change of the terms. This is the last change of the terms, and this is the time when the order was placed and when it has been recorded. And you can see that this is blue. That means it is a link. If we click on that one, it shows us precisely in GitLab what the current version is the client subscribed to. And while GitLab or GitHub aren't fully compliance safe by default, you can easily make them compliance safe as you wish. But even if you use that in plain vanilla like this one here, I think you are way better off, because now you're able to prove what specific version of the terms a client bought something from your store. And it should be pretty simple and pretty easy to prove what the real content at that time was, even if you change something in between. And yeah, this happens all automatically, and it seems to work pretty fine. It does not change anymore here in the order. So if you look at this, it's A to D. It starts with A to D. Let's see if we change the pages. If we change the AGB again, the terms, again, we changed something. Save that. Now we look at the latest version, and you see that this now got a new hash. It started with 133. But if we look at the order again, the last order we did, then it still has stored the latest version that the client subscribed to, and this is still not the latest one, but the version before that. So that works pretty well. I think that should surface all the legal requirements we were just discussing in the community. If that is what you're after, if you think that is something that could help you, then just let me know. Drop in some comments here, and yeah, if you think that it's still not tracking whatever you want to do there, then drop me a line as well, and we can fix that. So I think we are well on a good way to a compliant proof FluentCart system.